Welcome students of Form 2. This video will be about benefits and challenges of Caribbean integration, and you can find further information about this topic on page 185, Sheng 58. Yeah, and the learning outcomes are el resultado, diseña Akita. In this section you will learn to debate the benefits of Caribbean integration. Debates means you gotta look at the pros and the cons, the advantages and the disadvantages. E ventaja y e desventaja. Yes, that means debating. And what do we mean with benefits? When we talk about benefits, it looks a bit like pavimento. Yes, quita beneficio. Yes, so what are the debate, the advantages, but also the disadvantages of integration in the Caribbean. Integration, cortico ta traha más y más junto. Yeah, you gotta work more and more together. That's integration actually. And again, more about information about what I'm telling you, you can find on page 158. So 158, you can find more information about this actually. Yes, and debate means look at the whole, look at the advantages, disadvantages, the pros and the cons actually. You gotta look at both of them. Yes, so you really got to look not just only the advantages, but also the disadvantages. And there are multiple ways of looking at that. Then, what does it mean when you integrate? You can look at 3 points of integration. First one is political unity, which would see, for example, coordinated foreign policies among the member states. Yes, member states are país nuta un miembro, di CARICOM, por ejemplo. Yes, and what are foreign policies? Yes, for instance, when we would talk with one voice with the future president of America, then we would have manejo exterior. Yes, it wouldn't be every separate island separately talking with the president of the United States. There would be a unity, and there would be one person, look at my beautiful person here, that would be talking as a representative, yes, with the president of the United States together. Junto un Caribbean tapapiaku presidente America. Yes, that is political unity. The next one is not political unity, but is economic unity. Yes, en que significa aqui? What does economic unity mean? And cooperation, trabajo junto, cooperación. Yes, the creation of a regional market. Yes, so this is the region of the Caribbean. This map you can also find in your textbook, the Caribbean region. For instance, we make aloe vera on the island and we will sell it across the region. Yeah, Caribbean. Yes, that in mercado regional. So for instance, nostra traha aloe vera. Yeah, nostra cosecha aloe vera y nostra vende is aquí ding Caribbean to Cuba or to Puerto Rico or the smaller islands of the Caribbean. En is aquí daar een regional market, un mercado regional. That will be economic unity. Yes, this example, economic unity. The next one, the third one, functional unity. So you work together and it's like functional. It has a function. Is getting on function. Yes. So countries in the Caribbean, for instance, the Windward Islands and Trinidad and Tobago, for instance, but also other parts of the Caribbean, the Traujuntu, we work together on areas of preventing disasters. They're working together, tocante e guardacosta, tocante e seguridad. Yeah, working together concerning the Coast Guard or security measures against volcanoes erupting, earthquakes, floods, heavy rainfall, and so on. Yes, and also disaster response, culture, finance, youth, sport, tax administration, and industrial relations. And when looking at those three reasons, economic unity, political unity, and the last one, functional unity, some people say that it's the only way of dealing with these matters. Yeah, dealing with disaster response, dealing with education, dealing with young people, the youth. Yes, some people say it's the only way, it's the best way in which you can deal with these kinds of things. But our goal is to try to look at it from different angles, a pros and a cons, just like I told you. Yes, because some people say immigration is no good, it takes away my national identity and gives me nothing in return. So those are the cons, according to some people. But other people say you're wrong. Integration means we are separate countries, but we work together, for the benefit of everybody in the region. Yes. So there are pros for Caribbean integration, but there are also cons for Caribbean integration. And this is like the debate going on between the people who are for Caribbean integration and people who are against. So the question is it the only way to solve issues of education, dealing with disasters like Thomas from 10 years ago, and now Milton in Florida, and Bethel a few months ago, those big storms and hurricanes, dealing with youth, brain drain. The question is the only way further integration or not, actually? We had integration before, and the first premier integration grandi was the West Indies Federation. That was the name of the corporation, the West Indies Federation, that in number, that attempt at further integration. It's the first major regionalism initiative. And there were several disagreements among different territories, particularly with regard to federal taxation, yes, impuesto, and centralized planning. Yes, and most, this is important, were unwilling no que donar poder ng gobierno regional. Yes, so there were several disagreements with the capital in Trinidad, Port of Spain. Yes, because the small islands didn't want to give power to one government of the Caribbean. Yeah, and disagreements significa desacuerdo. Disagreement significa desacuerdo. Yes, and again, the capital of the West Indies Federation back then was in Port of Spain, located on the island of Trinidad, close to us. Curacao was not a member of that West Indies Federation, by the way. After the West Indies Federation failed, we got CARIFTA. Its founding members were Antigua and Barbuda, like you see here. Those are the founding members in 1965. And some 8 years later, we started CARICOM. And just a few months ago, Curacao became a member of this same CARICOM. Yes, CARICOM was based on economic integration. Hey, we've seen this before. With a common market, we've also seen this before. Functional cooperation, and we've also seen this before actually. Concerning health, for instance, and foreign policy, manejo exterior. So integration in CARICOM went one step further, actually 3 steps further: economic integration, functional integration, and foreign policy, manejo exterior. Yes, and we also see a common market, what I talked about just now. Yeah. What is the mercado junto? Mercado junto? Sí, un mercado junto. Yes, and just a few months ago, Curacao became a member of this same CARICOM. Let's watch this short video about that. Yes. So you see, our Prime Minister, Gilmar Pista, spoke that he was very happy with becoming an associate member and becoming a part of the CARICOM community. Yes, and as an associate member, we're not a full member, but we work on economic integration, functional cooperation, and manejo exterior, foreign policy, y un mercado común. Yes, and here you see the pros and cons of integration again, what we just talked about, taking away a piece of national identity, not giving something in return, that's a con, and a pro, yeah, is it means that we are separate countries, but we can work together. Nos potrà junto para el beneficio para todo país ding e região. Yes? Well, one important word is supranational, and it's above here. You can see. What does it mean? Finally, supranational means yes, outside or beyond the limits of national borders, yes, and the power and authority of a single national government. So CARICOM has some elements of being a supranational organization. Yeah, super means above. Yeah, arriba, arriba e nacional. Yeah, arriba e país non nacional. So, supranational, outside or beyond the limits of national borders or the power and authority of a single national government. Yes, and CARICOM has some elements of being supranational. Yes, and a major cause of delay and failure in attempts to achieve integration, look at the West Indies Federation of 1958, is an unwillingness, país não note hier, of national governments to give up power, poder, and authority, autoridad, to a supranational body. So a lot of countries are afraid that the countries won't have any power anymore, but they will have to give power, non te meste d'una poder, non e governo supranacional. Hopi país non da mtiki mieru país. A lot of countries have fear of giving up power to a supranational government, actually. Yes? So, to close it off, one question that regularly comes up in CCSLC, one of the main reasons for integration within the Caribbean region is to A. Bring back all nationals to the Caribbean. B. Reduce import bills of Caribbean countries. C. Create one common Caribbean government. D. Stop imports of countries outside of the Caribbean. Which one do you think is correct? And the correct answer is actually answer C. Create one common Caribbean government. You cannot bring back all Caribbean nationals. They're not going to come back. They have lives, children. Imports outside of the Caribbean always going to be there. Reducing import bills is important, but not the main reason. The main reason is create one common Caribbean government. Questions below, subscribing, don't forget to do that. Press the little bell, and if you have questions, ask them below or during class.